out there, try it.
Yeah, man, I get that.
But right now,
no, bro, listen, it's real shit too. What you said about the lack of purpose during COVID, you know, I think that's something that really resonates with a lot of people because normal life was forced away from us. And, you know, I think that's a big part of what's going on right now in the world is that, you know, you and I talk a lot, bro. And what's really cool about having you here for me is that, like, I'm a fan of your shit. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good friendship when you can reciprocate those feelings for each other.
For sure. Like, if you guys don't follow him, you should, because he writes some of the best things and the most thought-provoking writing that there is out there right now for anybody in our era. So it's really cool to hear that. But, you know, I think that's something that a lot of people feel, but they don't know what to do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like they're like, fuck, dude, I'm lost. You know, it's the internal dialogue, right? Like we might all go through life, because I was the same way, dude. Yeah. I was going through life. I'm successful. I'm making money. I'm doing good things, but I wasn't living right. You know what I'm saying? Like I was drinking all the time. I was doing things that you know I wasn't proud of. Whenever I would wake up from being that person, and like it's just a different life when you move past all of that.
So 75 hard for me was I wanted to prove to myself that I could do something that seemed impossible to me. And it did. I used to tell people all the time, I used to kind of brag about it, saying, you know, I could never quit drinking. I could never not drink, man. I drink 5 nights a week. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
And I prided myself on the fact that I could drink all the time and still perform at a fairly high level.
Me too.
And my job was encouraged. I was a hospitality creative director. I worked on a lot of bars and hotels. Like drinking was kind of, I considered it, you know, almost like a superpower. The fact I could drink and go to meetings and handle my shit. And so just the idea of giving up drinking, seemed like impossible to me. And I was like, man, if I can, I remember telling myself I said, if I can get through this, I'm pretty sure I can get through it.
Yeah.
And that was like the mindset I had going into it. But I probably failed 75 hard. I mean, actual count, I probably failed 8 times. Failed seriously 3 times in the day 20 to 30 range. And every time was in the day 20 to 30 range. And it was because I wanted to drink.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was craving alcohol. It was because I didn't like the idea that some dude I didn't really know was controlling my life. And so I'd get to like this cocky arrogance where I was like, you know what? Who the fuck is this Andy guy to know my life? He doesn't know my stress. He doesn't know what I need to cope. And I'd get these days where I was just so tense and angry. I'd still be getting all my shit done, but I was like, I just can't feel like this anymore. I'm too mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to go out with my friends.
Yeah.
So I'd want to just go out and do something to like relieve that stress. And it was really just, like I said, it was arrogance. It was me feeling like I knew better than you, or me feeling like I knew better than some program. And also it was a little bit of that fear of, I didn't really want to change who I was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to become, like I used to tell people, it's like my drinking ability is like a 401k. I've been putting deposits in it for years. That's how my tolerance is so high.
Yeah.
And I remember actually genuinely feeling like, dude, if I stop drinking, I'm going to become a lightweight. And it was something that like bothered me, which is so fucking ridiculous to think about. But when your identities become tied to the guy who goes out and parties all the time, it's hard to let go of that.
Bro, I could completely relate to that. Like, dude, if you guys even listen to me you go back to when I was doing the show in 2015, 16, you can hear it. I talk about drinking fucking Maker's Mark and whiskey and shit. And, you know, I thought the same thing, bro. I lived the exact same way.
I didn't want to change. And so it was that,
I thought it was super cool.
Dude,
I'm like, bro, I could drink a bottle of whiskey and be fine.
Dude, I
wasn't fine, though.
I went to a meeting one time in Nashville, actually, and I had been out to 4 a.m. the night before, and I showed up for an 8 a.m. meeting still drunk. And the GM of the hotel was like laughing about it and said, hey, do you want a Bloody Mary? And I was like, fuck yeah. And I killed the meeting, but I showed up drunk, and I even continued to drink in the meeting. And that was like encouraged. It was something that people would be like, we like working with Kyle because he's this crazy creative director, but he's also really smart. You can go party with him. Yeah. And I just felt like I owed my success to my ability to do that.
It was part of your image. It was
part of your brand.
It was part of your identity that you created about yourself.
And so I had a hard time wanting to let go of that. It was the fear of, who am I going to be without this in my life?
Yeah.
And so it was like, I think it was day 21, day 23, another time I'd drink, and then I'd wake up the next day and be like, why am I doing this? Like, I've got to prove to myself I can get through this shit. And my girlfriend was getting fed up with it. And at this point, she was a couple months along. And I just knew, like, I had to pull my head out of my ass if I was going to be a good dad. And so I'd start over, like, the next day. I'd start again. Then I get 21 days in it, fail it again. I was like, I'd be fucking done by now if I hadn't fucked up three times.
I hear that a lot. People will say, dude, and this is how they justify it. I see it